Power to the truth. I want to speak now on the need to fight back against American fascism. A basic definition of fascism, which actually came from Mussolini, is the merger between the corporations and the state power. And this runs real deep because we're not going to have a complete definition of fascism, in the sense that it's still developing, it's still growing, it's still entrenching itself into the body politic. So a basic definition is when corporativism has taken over the government, either through a military coup or an economic coup. What happened in 2008, to the U.S. economy? Remember, we bailed out the banks, and then those corporations are richer than ever, and that means that the U.S. taxpayers paid for that bailout. Yet when the 2008 depression hit, many people lost their homes and lost their livelihood, and many suffered because of it. Yet we don't see the banks bailing out the American people. So I look at fascism in a way, it's an ancient evil. It's just taking different forms. In a way, it is true that the love of money is the root of evil. It's also what we have been conditioned and programmed to accept without fighting back. They can't fight City Hall, can't fight the government. As we get killed by the government daily. We get killed in so many ways. Not just the physical killing, not just us killing each other in the streets. Look at Chicago. But it's the way that we oppress each other. We are afraid of anyone who comes out and speaks the truth. We hunt down whistleblowers. So we need to fight back against American fascism and not have a cartoon picture of it like Nazi Germany. American fascism is the most mature, sophisticated, scientific fascism that's ever existed in human history. Something to ponder upon. Because I see where it's not only in the material, physical world, but I see where it has been embedded into our psyche. Where people walk around with fear. They have this constant sense of dread. What's going to go wrong? We get so conditioned to life as it is now. It's hard to imagine a better world. where people can enjoy being free, enjoying liberty, just enjoying life, being happy. So we need to fight back against fascism by understanding it and being able to explain it to others and to ourselves, and expressing our truth. You know, if it's your truth, it's your truth. You know, we got to be open to constructive criticism and engage in creative self-criticism. Yet we still need to fight back against fascism. Use our energy in that direction and not waste our energy on worry, waste our energy on fear, waste our energy on hate, and to use our energy in positive ways. So it depends upon your situation, you know, how much free time you have, how much energy you have, and being able to tap into your spirit, you know, to give you more energy. You know, spirit of love, spirit of compassion. We need to fight back in so many ways. You know, we fight back in a way by not fighting with each other. You know, not getting involved in stupid spousal abuse. Not getting into any trauma off boyfriend-girlfriend relationships. You know, not having any local gang warfare where poor wretched people are wasting each other instead of uniting together. So the gangs are an expression of wanting a sense of community. You know, when you have a family that's wrecked at home, and a gang gives you a sense of belonging, you know, to a larger community. You know, there's reasons for that. So we need to demonstrate, we need to protest, we need to get involved in political parties, and we need to use our imagination. And not get stuck on anything. You know, being able to be fluid. You know, to go with the flow. To look at your local community, see how you can help out. You know, get a job if you can. Get a job that helps people. If we all need to live. And getting involved in volunteering. You know, it could be your local Boys Girls Club. It could be your local homeless shelter. It could be with a non-profit organization. And we could be getting into hip-hop music. You know, having positive hip-hop. You know, that educates people. Be doing artwork, you know, doing murals, writing poetry, making music, having a local newsletter. There's many ways of fighting back against fascism, and we need to have that intelligence to realize that right now, you know, there is no really strong progressive movement in the USA. We're cushioned, and in many ways, you know, Americans remind me of Nazi Americans. You know, we need to study how were the German people before Hitler came into power. And once he came into power, how were the German people? Why did they allow the genocide against the Jews? You know, the Holocaust. And we look at America, founded upon a dual genocide of Africans and of native indigenous people. We see where the founding fathers were basically slave masters. You know, so the USA became the ideal country for the development and consolidation of the most mature fascism in human history. Think about that. You know, allow my voice to penetrate into your consciousness here. You know, to think that, you know, fascism just popped out of nowhere is illogical. You know, the many of the German Nazis were allowed to come into the USA. You know, study the history of Citibank. You know, so we're in a situation now where people who have the free time, who have the free energy, are wasting their time and wasting their energy, you know, and are not involved in any kind of creative, constructive social activity. Well, this is a shame. You know, the idea of anyone being bored when there's so much to be done, so much good work to be done. We fight back against fascism by feeding children. We fight back against fascism by helping each other. We fight back against fascism by becoming more loving, more humane, more understanding, in the hopes that we will become the kind of people we want to see in a future humane world, where there's peace on earth. A big part of it all is going to be getting involved in electoral politics. Are you registered to vote? So some people, they're just set in their ways, you know, and they're not creative. They don't think creative. They don't act creative. You know, the struggle between for and against is one of the mind's worst diseases. You know, I'm in favor of getting involved in electoral politics, at least on the local level, and using campaign elections as platforms for educating the people. Community education is essential for us to move forward. You know, so to have a blanket opposition to politics leaves politics in the hands of the fascist pigs. You're being a patsy for them. An obedient slave. Someone who just wants to stay out of the way as they crush us. You know, now they're coming back on the food stamps. This is a regime, the U.S. regime has spent $3+ trillion with a T on the Iraq war. And we have a fascist Congress that cuts back on food stamps. Then we have a passive Nazi Americans who don't protest, who don't resist, who don't speak out against it. Why should it have to take a major social collapse for us to wake up and smell the coffee or smell the canela? So we need to do what we can to fight back against fascism, unite with each other, settle your differences. Differences in your family, in your community, differences in your own soul. That constant tension between the good and evil in us. So continue to study and learn and be open to learning. Namaste.